The Built Ford Tough Player of the Year Award celebrates the top high school football athletes in Texas across classifications 6A all the way down to 2A and eligible private schools. Each week during the season, one standout is named the Built Ford Tough Player of the Week, leading up to the prestigious Player of the Year honors in each classification. And today, we're going to be talking about the Built Ford Tough 2A Player of the Year watch list, presented by your Texas Ford dealers. And each Dave Campbell's Texas football staff member chose one player from the 2A level that we think might have a good chance of winning that 2A Player of the Year award. And starting off, we're going to be talking about Carter Yates' pick, and that's Wolfe City 2026 running back H.D. Davis.
Pretty good pick here by Carter. Davis rushed for 2,789 yards last year, 31 rushing touchdowns, 33 total touchdowns, and he played on both sides of the ball, right? Like, he's a guy who flips over and can add some two-way versatility. And, of course, he's committed to Kansas State. So 2A players can go on to play at the highest levels. And we see an instance here of a guy going on to KSU to play in the Big 12. And we had the unique opportunity to watch him at the State 7-on-7 tournament this past week. Mallory, and you got a chance to sit down with him or stand up with him and hear about the latest of his recruitment nuggets. But I really loved what he gave us on the fact that he's trying to put on for 2A ball.
Yeah, that was one of the questions I asked him. I talked to him and I said, hey, what does this mean for a smaller classification player, as in yourself, a 2A player, being able to put on a show well enough to say, hey, I'm going to go play college football at the Power 4 level. And he was like, man, it means so much to me. It's just an honor to be able to represent the 2A level in that way. And I think that you're seeing this more and more now. I mean, we're going to be talking about him here in just a second. Ryland Morris, he's now committed to Stanford, but you're seeing more of these lower classification players getting the opportunity to play at the Power 4 level. And it starts with players like H.D. Davis and Ryland Morris.
It's really cool to see. And my prediction is that H.D. Davis is going to be signing plenty of autographs after games on Friday nights this year.
Absolutely. Moving on, two of our staff members, which should say a lot, picked this next player. Will and Matt Stepp picked 2026 quarterback Casen Carney out of Muenster. I got to watch him in person, I guess, a couple times last year, but man, dude is the real deal.
Listen to this stat line. If you're not convinced, you're going to be convinced after you hear this. 4,436 yards and 62 touchdowns while leading Muenster to a state championship last season. He's a one-man highlight show, and I know you had a lot of fun watching him in the state championship games at AT&T Stadium last year. What'd you see?
Man, he's just all over the field. I mean, well, and Pickle and I got to watch him in Denison during the state regionals or something like that.
So you saw him score like 10. You saw him score like 10 touchdowns.
He's just all over the field all the time. I mean, they use him in so many different ways, right, in the offense, and he's just a fun little player to watch. I wouldn't be surprised that those numbers double this coming year.
Well, when two of our staffers synced up on the same pick, he's a special talent.
Yeah, absolutely. Up next, Greg Tepper. He got to pick Beckville 2026 running back Jordan Prince. And Powers, what do you think of him?
I love this pick that Tepper had. To me on this list, he's the biggest sleeper who could potentially, that's on this watch list, right? He's the next big thing out east to me. He's the younger brother of Jacoby Williams, who's at Texas Tech, and he dazzled as a junior, rushing for 2,132 yards and 37 touchdowns, averaging more than 9 yards per touch. He's also a track and basketball star, so he's one of those true beast Texas athletes who kind of does a little bit of everything. I've got my eyes on him, and I know Tepper does too, because he wants to see his player to watch become true at the end of the year.
Well, and when you have other family members that have gone on to play at the next level, those genes run pretty strong, right? So you can't help but think this guy's going to be successful.
Yeah, I think he's one of the more under-recruited players in the entire state of Texas. He's right up there with some of the top guys and deserves to be mentioned alongside all of the greats.
Let's move on to your pick.
All right, here we go.
We'll
this is
talk
the one
about-
we've been waiting on, right? Like, I want to be right about mine.
Oh, yeah. We're going to be talking about the aforementioned Ryland Morris out of Honeygrove. He's a 2026 running back / athlete, and recently he flipped his commitment from Baylor to Stanford.
Yeah, and that was a huge get for Stanford. I think that he fits into that offense really well as an all-purpose back because he's not just a guy that you're going to put behind the quarterback. He's a guy who can split out and provide valuable reps as a wide receiver. But last season, he rushed for 1,871 yards and 30 touchdowns in only 7 games. 7 games. And if Honeygrove were to win a state championship this year, which they're one of the teams we're watching really closely for that, right? Then Ryland Morris has to have a huge season. It wouldn't shock me at all to see him go for over 2,500 yards. If he just had a few more games underneath his belt last year, he might have done it then.
Yeah, I know. Stanford's getting a good one. They're
Yeah,
getting
no
a
doubt.
steal in
No
him.
doubt.
I mean, he was the word on the street when he committed to Baylor, right?
Right.
But now that you're going out west, I guess it is from here,
Yeah.
to go play for a powerhouse in Stanford, I mean, just that much more talk of the town. All right, we'll round it out with my player
Here we
of
go.
the year watch list
You need
pick.
a drum roll? There you go. Who is it?
I'm going with Mount Enterprise 2026 athlete Kaegen Ash, and I love this pick because, like we talked about some of these other players at the 2A level, this kid can really do it all. He's a 2A athlete, rarely comes off the field. He's a Texas Tech linebacker commit who racked up 49 tackles, 9 tackles for a loss, and 5 sacks and 1 interception. And yeah, that seems pretty good, right?
It's pretty good.
Well, let's flip over onto the other side of the ball with him at running back. And man, those stats might turn even more heads because he totaled 244 carries for 1,960 yards and 32 rushing touchdowns. Dude puts up absolute video game numbers.
He's one of my favorite players in this class, regardless of position, regardless of classification. And I think Texas Tech did a tremendous job with their evaluation of this prospect. I think that he'll get his first chance to play defense, and I really do feel like he has the frame to blossom once he gets in the Texas Tech strength and conditioning program. But if he is to lead his team to a state championship and potentially be a player to watch for player of the year, it's those offensive numbers that I'm really paying attention to because those touchdowns win awards.
Powers, it's a strong list that our staff has been able to put together. But of course, we're not going to find out until next January in 2026. Who will win the Built Ford Tough 2A Player of the Year?